Hey everyone. It seems like every other week there's something new blowing up the internet.
It does, doesn't it?
Like right now, it's all this talk about a new virus outbreak in China. And,
Yeah.
just 5 years after COVID. Makes you wonder, right?
Yeah.
Human metapneumovirus.
Human metapneumovirus. That's a mouthful.
Right. Or HMPV for short.
HMPV.
Yeah. And it's like all over social media. People are saying it's going to be like the next big pandemic and everything. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
So should we be worried? Or are people overreacting? Like, should we all be stocking up on toilet paper again?
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay, good point, good point. So before we all, build our underground bunkers and everything, let's maybe take a deep breath here
Yeah.
and figure out what HMPV actually is.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
And, how worried should we really be about it?
It's understandable that after everything we've been through with COVID, people are a little on edge. They see a new virus and they immediately think, oh no, not again.
Right.
But I think it's really important to take a step back and remember that not everything that trends online is an actual global threat.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
In fact, a lot of times the things that cause the biggest stir online turn out to be, well, not that big of a deal in the end.
Yeah, that makes sense. Perspective. So maybe before we get into the nitty-gritty of HMPV, we should just tell everyone, just relax.
Exactly.
It's probably going to be okay.
Don't panic.
Yeah, don't panic.
And if you're enjoying this conversation and you want to hear more, be sure to subscribe. It really helps us out.
Okay, so let's get down to it.
Right.
What exactly is HMPV?
So HMPC is a respiratory virus.
Oh, okay.
And honestly, for a lot of people, it feels pretty much like a common cold.
Oh, really? Just a cold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A cough, runny nose, sore throat, that kind of thing.
So like the usual suspects?
Yeah, exactly. The stuff we deal with all the time. But here's the thing. It can be a lot more serious for certain people.
Okay. So there's more to it.
There's more to it. Like young children, for example.
Oh, yeah.
They can have a harder time fighting it off. The elderly, too. And anyone with a compromised immune system.
So the more vulnerable folks.
Yeah, exactly. For those groups, HMPV can sometimes lead to things like pneumonia.
Oh, wow.
Or it can make asthma flare up.
Oh, I see. So it's not just a simple sniffle for everyone.
Definitely not. It's important to be aware of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm curious, though, have you ever felt like you might have had HMPV?
That's a good question.
Or like something similar? I mean, it sounds like a pretty, common set of symptoms.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Let us know in the comments if you've ever felt like you might have had HMPV.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your experiences.
And also, if you're finding this information useful, please give this episode a like.
Thanks, we appreciate it.
Now, we've been hearing a lot about, other viruses going around in China, too.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like influenza A, right?
Yeah.
And what was that other one? Mycoplasma pneumonia.
Mycoplasma pneumonia. Yep. You got it.
Right. So how does HMPV, stack up against those?
Well, that's the thing. The symptoms can be really similar. All these respiratory viruses cause a lot of the same symptoms like cough, fever, and all that.
Oh,
so it can be really hard to tell them apart just by how you're feeling.
Right. So you can't just self-diagnose at home.
Not really, no. A lot of times you actually need a lab test to figure out what you have.
Oh, okay. So it sounds like HMPV has been around for a while then.
It has, yeah. It was first discovered back in 2001.
Oh, wow. Back in 2001.
Yeah. And, it's actually part of the same family of viruses as RSV.
RSV. What's that?
Respiratory syncytial virus. This is another common respiratory virus. A lot of parents are familiar with RSV. It can be pretty rough on young kids, especially.
Okay, so it has a bit of a family history.
You could say that, yeah.
Okay, so we know what HMPV is. We know it's been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But, knowing all this, what can we do to protect ourselves?
That's a great question. And the good news is a lot of the things that help prevent HMPV are things we're already familiar with from COVID.
Oh, okay, so the same old, same old.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wash your hands, wear a mask, all that.
Exactly. Regular hand washing is super important, like really important.
Yeah, we've all become hand-washing pros, haven't we?
Right. Like, we all know the drill by now. Wash your hands often for at least 20 seconds with soap and water.
Okay. And what about, touching your face? Is that still a big no-no?
Yeah, it's still a good idea to avoid touching your face, especially with unwashed hands. It's just an easy way to spread germs.
Right, those sneaky germs.
They're everywhere.
They are. And what about masks? Are those still a good idea?
Yeah, masks are still a good idea, especially if you're not feeling well. Wearing a mask in public can help prevent you from spreading the virus to other people. It's like a courtesy to everyone around you.
Right, so it's not just about protecting yourself, it's about protecting everyone else
Yes.
too. Okay, makes sense. Now, I'm wondering, is there a specific treatment for HMPV?
That's the thing. There isn't a specific antiviral treatment available yet.
Really?
Yeah, and there's no vaccine either.
Oh, wow. Why not? It seems like we've made so much progress with other viruses.
It's a complex process, developing treatments and vaccines. It takes a lot of research and testing. And sometimes it can just be really challenging with certain viruses.
Oh, okay. So I guess it's just a waiting game.
Kind of, yeah. But research is ongoing, and hopefully we'll see some breakthroughs in the future.
Fingers crossed.
For now, though, the focus is on managing the symptoms. You know, just trying to make people feel better while their body fights off the infection.
So rest, fluids, chicken soup, the usual suspects.
Exactly. Sometimes the old remedies are the best.
Yeah, sometimes simpler is better.
Totally.
Wow, this has been really informative. It makes you think.
It does, doesn't it?
New viruses seem to pop up all the time, and it's like, how can we be better prepared as a global community? Like beyond just, washing our hands and wearing masks.
Yeah, that's the big question. And it's something that researchers and policymakers are working on all the time. Trying to figure out how to improve surveillance systems, develop new treatments and vaccines faster.
It's a lot to think about.
It is. But remember, staying informed is a really important step.
That's true. Knowledge is power, right?
Absolutely. So if you enjoyed this conversation and you want to stay up to date on these kinds of topics, make sure to subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. Give us a like if you learned something new today.
And thanks for listening.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
See you next time.